How to save money on prime steak. So I was at Costco today and I didn't see these in the rack, and I asked the butcher, I said, do you guys have a big pack of ribeyes prime? He said that they had them about 20 pounds plus or minus. So I looked at it and the unit price is $14.89 a pound. For prime cut steaks in the packaging, it was $24 a pound. So get this big old honker, 17 pounds. I mean, they say man shouldn't eat unless he kills his own meal. So this is kind of like that. We'll have to butcher this down, but you can see there is some fat. It's really not a ton. There is the top side here, which we'll have to trim that down. And there is some blood in here. So for people that are interested in saving some money, basically this is like a wholesale price. Go to Whole Foods and ask for prime ribeye. It's probably $27 a pound or more, $29.99 a pound. So there will be a little bit of trimmings. I eat a lot of the trimmings because I like a high protein, high fat diet. I don't eat a lot of carbohydrates. It is a bit of an investment. If you were to get this in choice, it would be probably closer to $10 a pound, somewhere around there. But I went ahead, and the prime beef is so good. There's only like 1% of beef in the USA that gets certified as prime. Generally, I think it's younger, healthier cows versus choice is pretty good too, but select I think is a lot of times the older beef. This is vacuum sealed. So what we'll need to deal with this, some sort of tray. You can use those big aluminum baking trays, the toss away ones. We need to sanitize our sink so that I could rinse all this blood and stuff off. Make sure the sink is clean, wash it off in there, get it in the pan, dry it down, and then we'll cut it down into steaks. Your sharpest knife, your biggest knife, it's gonna come in handy for this. One way to make this easier to handle is to give it one cut right in the middle. Sharper knife, you're going to, it's gonna help to prevent butchering the meat or bruising the meat or smashing it. I mean, that's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, just really beautiful marbling. So there's a couple ways you can cut this down. You can start by trimming off this the cap area to get some of this fat out, and you can sort of follow it through to see where that goes. You can cut it straight down here if you don't want that at all. I'm actually going to leave it on because I do love the fat, and I think it's a little bit of a misnomer for people to say you should cut the grizzle. There is a little layer here, so we'll just get off a little bit of this stuff, just trying to be real delicate. You want a little container or something for the fat, whatever. There is like a little top layer here that I would advise removing. We'll just be real delicate, take off a minor amount of this top layer here. I don't know about you, but it may not seem appetizing to some people, but I really digs it. So that's about all the trimming I'm gonna do. So the next decision is, how many steaks do you want to get out of this? Most people would say thicker the better, but I'm gonna go like 1 inch at the most and just make my cuts and try to get, straight cuts. A little separation there, but that's fine. So you'll decide how much of this fat you want to trim off here. I mean, some of it will render down when you're cooking. One thing to notice about this is a lot of times you buy meat and it's brown. I mean, this is just freshly cut. It's not like they're pumping this full of carbon monoxide to keep it red. It's truly that fresh. I mean, that you just cut into it, and it's beautiful. So next thing you want to have handy are some bags. I have to get those open. Just keep in mind, the sharper the knife, the easier, quicker this is gonna be. Now you might think this is a lot of work and you don't want to mess with that, but you're gonna save a lot of money. You're gonna eat better quality beef. So to me, it's completely worth it. And you're gonna get more steaks. That's one hell of a dinner, wouldn't you say? So I'll put 2 per bag. Usually, if it's just for me, I'll make 2 steaks. I'll make 1 for dinner, and then I'll have 1 left over for lunch the next day. It's really a lot easier than you see those big bags, and you're sort of intimidated. But if you've got 20-30 minutes of prep work at home, then you really can make it happen. You never want to cut ribeye less than 1 inch. It just ruins the meat. And this last piece was kind of odd shape, so I went ahead and cut it down a little bit. So when you're bagging these up, these are just Ziploc gallon freezer bags. It's important to get as much air out of here as possible. So I like to turn them over, put some pressure while I'm zipping them, and it should be almost like a vacuum seal. There should be very little air in there. I did get 1 bag of sort of odds and ends. I can make like some kebabs or just fry them up, oil and butter. A 17-pound block, and looks like they're averaging about 16 to 20 ounces of steak. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. This is the one for tonight. 15. The 2 end pieces get kind of hard to cut in half. You gotta lay it on side and try to fillet it, but I just break it down. 17, 19, about 19 steaks you can get out of it. So how long is that gonna feed you for? Now, if you got a bunch of different things, sometimes I label them, but this is gonna be primarily what I'm eating for the next week and a half. So into the freezer and got my beauty for this evening. Save yourself some money, put a little elbow grease into it. Sharp knife is really all you need. It could be a 2-person job, but got it done with 1, and you saw how easy that is. Now all I gotta do is wash a little bit and be all done, ready to go, ready to fry that bad boy. Thank you everybody for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel, and all of our current subscribers, thank you guys so much.